Have you ever felt that moment? That one single moment where everything you've ever worked for is on the line? For Jackson and Pretty, that moment was today. From their small, cozy apartment in the heart of Johannesburg, they had poured their souls into building a dream from scratch. Months of tireless effort, countless emails sent into the void, late-night phone calls fueled by hope and cheap coffee, and the constant hum of a laptop working overtime. It was a grind, a relentless push against the odds. And then, one day, a breakthrough. An email reply, a potential client, their first one. The day of the meeting arrived, thick with a mix of excitement and crippling anxiety. The apartment, usually a haven of creativity, now felt like a pressure cooker. Jackson, pacing back and forth, couldn't shake the voice of doubt whispering in his ear. He looked at Pretty, his partner in both life and business, his worry spilling out. Pretty, what if we mess this up? What if we're not ready? Pretty, ever the anchor in their storm, met his gaze with unwavering calm. Jackson, look at me. We prepared for weeks. We've gone over every possible scenario, every slide, every number. Her voice was steady, a lifeline in his sea of what if. But Jackson's mind was a whirlwind. I know, but what if they ask something we don't know? Something we haven't thought of? He pressed, his voice tight. Pretty walked over, placing a reassuring hand on his shoulder. Then we'll figure it out, she said simply. Together, that's what we do. Her words were a balm, and for a second, Jackson felt his shoulders relax. He took a deep breath, ready to face the challenge. He sat down at their makeshift desk, clicked the mouse to wake the computer, and his heart plummeted. Oh, no. The words came out as a strangled whisper. Pretty rushed to his side. What is it? What's wrong? Jackson pointed at the screen, at the little icon that had become their worst enemy, the Wi-Fi symbol with a dreaded exclamation mark. The internet, it's gone. It's just not working. The weight of the situation crashed down on them. All their preparation, all their hopes, about to be derailed by a technical glitch. The client would be logging on any minute. Jackson slumped in his chair, the fight draining out of him. This was it, he mumbled, defeated. This was our one chance. But Pretty wasn't ready to surrender. A fire ignited in her eyes. No, absolutely not, she declared, her voice ringing with defiance. We are not losing this client because of bad Wi-Fi. We've come too far. In a flash, she grabbed her phone, her fingers flying across the screen. Hotspot. Jackson stared at her, a slow smile spreading across his face. It was so simple, yet in his panic, he hadn't even thought of it. You're a genius, he breathed, a wave of relief washing over him. Pretty just shook her head, a determined glint in her eye. No, I just refused to give up. In the nick of time, the connection was restored. A notification popped up on the screen. The client was in the waiting room. They took a shared deep breath and clicked admit. A professional, polished face appeared on their screen. Good morning, Jackson. Good morning, Pretty. The client's voice was even carrying an air of authority. Jackson, his confidence reignited by Pretty's quick thinking, leaned in. Good morning. Thank you so much for taking the time to meet with us today. We really appreciate it. The client gave a slight, unreadable smile. Let's get straight to it. So, tell me why I should trust a new business that, from what I understand, started in a small apartment. The question was blunt, designed to test them. But Jackson was ready. He didn't flinch. Because every big company, every major brand you trust today started somewhere. Many started in a garage, a basement, or a small apartment just like ours. What we may lack in a fancy office, we more than make up for in passion and hunger. We're willing to work twice as hard, be more creative, and more dedicated than anyone else to prove ourselves and deliver exceptional results for you. There was a long pause. The client studied them through the screen, their expression thoughtful. Jackson and Pretty held their breath, their hearts pounding in unison. Finally, the client spoke, hint of admiration in their tone. I like your confidence. I like that answer. A wave of hope surged through the small apartment. They had done it. They had passed the test. But the client continued, "Before I make my final decision, I have one more question for you." And just like that, the tension was back, thicker than ever. This was it, the final hurdle. One question stood between them and their very first client. One question that could decide whether their dream would finally take flight, or if everything they had worked for would come crashing down around them. The client leaned closer to their camera, their eyes locking on the Jackson and Pretty, and they asked the one question that would change everything. What do you think that question was? And more importantly, how would you have answered it? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We all face these make-or-break moments in our lives and careers. And sometimes, the best ideas come from sharing our experiences. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories about overcoming challenges and chasing your dreams. We'll see you in the next one.